right, here we go. 56-yarder. It's got, no, does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Very good defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers. Oh, dang!
This is Sports from Head to Toe. I'm Nick Donato here with my good friend Justin. So, earlier this week, the all-team defense, second-team all-team defense, and first-team all-team defense came out. So, we're going to go over a lot of things on it, whether somebody deserved to be on the list, whether somebody didn't deserve to be on the list, whether somebody got snubbed. So, what are your thoughts on if someone got robbed on the list, Justin?
Yeah, so first I'm going to go over the list here. So on the first team, Rudy Gobert, he received 196 total points, so that was the most on the whole list. So, Nick, your question was if there should have been a player that should have made it and a player that should definitely be there. So, at first I was looking, I'm like, Marcus Smart, why should he be there? I was checking it out, and actually he held defenders to 35% from the field goal. And that's pretty good considering you're stopping a bunch of players from scoring. That's about 1 in every 3 shots. And in today's league with the high scoring that we have, I'd say it's a pretty good rate. And with him being on a good team like the Celtics, yes, they lost in the playoffs kind of terribly, but he was able to help be a leader on the defensive side. So I believe he should stay there. Rudy Gobert is always a great center. He, out of all his points, he received 97 first-team defensive team votes, which is absolutely absurd, honestly. It's pretty crazy. Only 2 people voted for him to be on the second team. Paul George is right behind him. He was pretty close, but I kind of want to look at his numbers here. I believe one of the main statistics on defense that they go after is their defensive rating. So the defensive rating is described as shows how many points a player allows per 100 possessions. So with that being said, Paul George averaged per 100 possessions 103.4 points. That is actually pretty good compared to some of these other numbers, but you have to have certain positions. You have to have a center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards representing the positions for these stats. And a person that can easily replace him is Joe Ingles. I know he might not be the biggest name guy, but he played in all 82 games this year compared to Paul George's 77. He won a few more games, and he had a defensive rating of 100.5. So that's just under 3 points less than Paul George per 100 possessions. So he is playing pretty good defense. And to put that number in perspective, Rudy Gobert, who received 97 of the 99 votes for first team all defense, he had 102.9 rating. So this man got average on so he gave up less points per 100 possessions. So I think he should make a strong case for being about second team. Okay, so a guy I believe they got right in terms of being on one of the 2 all-defensive teams is Eric Bledsoe. Now, this is his first time being on the all-defensive selection, and that is because he has the greatest defensive efficiency career-wise in the past since 2013, which was his 4th year in the league. And he played half the game, so that's why he didn't get that award then. So he's been playing better defense. In the past 4 years, he's been greatly improving in terms of his defensive rating, and I believe having one of the lower ones and filling up that forward spot. So Eric Bledsoe makes a great case for being on the first team all defensive. Nick, who do you think got snubbed on the defensive teams, or who do you think a player they definitely got right?
One person I think they got wrong is Patrick Beverley should have been on this list somewhere. Whether it's second team or first team, I don't think this year he should have made first team, but I think for sure he could have been in over Drew Holiday. But I mean, he averages 1 steal a game, 1 block a game. He gets 7 rebounds a game. I mean, he's consistent. He's just a guy that comes to play every day, and he's not taken lightly as a guard on defense, being 6'1", 185 pounds. He's someone that can play lockdown defense as a guard and have the presence of a big at 6'1". So I think that he definitely got almost robbed in the sense. But, I mean, I'm not too upset about it because Drew Holiday is also just as good as... I'm not going to say just as good, but he's also a great defender. But one thing I saw that they got right is I like Marcus Smart looking at his stats, because I agree with you. I didn't think that he deserved to be on it, but looking at his stats, the stats actually back it up. I don't know, like, just the eye test. If you're going off the eye test, I don't really think it backs it up. But stats, like they say, stats don't lie. And I guess the stats back it up when you look at the stats. But Paul George, you had to expect that he was going to be on first team. Giannis, he's going to be on first team. Rudy Gobert, that's kind of questionable. He could have been on first or second. Joel and him were kind of fighting it out. Eric Bledsoe, this is kind of the questionable one, but I have no problem with him on first team. Then for second team, it's Joel Embiid. Like I said, him and Rudy were kind of fighting it out. Draymond Green on second team. Now, I don't have a problem with it, but Draymond's a great defender, and that's the thing. This class is so, like, the class is so tight that it's really hard to put Draymond over Marcus, but going off of the eye test, I would put Draymond over Marcus. That's the one thing that I had wrong with, like, the actual class. That set, like, if I were to change one thing that the set class actually had, move one up and one down, I would actually put Draymond over Marcus. So that's the one thing that I would change. But I mean, I actually have no problem with the list.
So, yeah, one more thing, Nick, about this list and the votes, how I said earlier. It was very strange to me that a lot of people picked Gobert over Embiid. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're both great centers, and they're both great defenders. They'll get 3 or 4 blocks a game and in big, crucial games. But, I mean, they kind of disrespected Embiid. It wasn't even close. Gobert had 97 first-team votes, and Embiid had 4. And then Gobert had 2 second-team votes, and Embiid had 72. So basically, if you didn't put Gobert first, then what happened was, if you picked Gobert first, then you picked Embiid second. There's only like 4 or 5 people total that picked Embiid over Gobert, which, like I said, I don't have a problem with, but it's very strange how they were that one-sided with these two players, considering they're about the same, minus Embiid missed about 15 games or so from injury, so I could see that. But other than that, it was just very strange to me.